Hello there, peace and love. I am Marian, and this is Full Soul Travel. So I have been in Dar es Salaam for exactly a week, and it feels like a lifetime already. It's crazy um, how much time is an illusion, and how powerful it is when you put yourself into the direction of your passion, of your dreams, and of your purpose. So, I'm just gonna do a little recap because I really thought that when I got here, I was gonna be out, got my equipment, be filming, doing this, doing that, and then before I even got on the plane, I sprained my ankle. Okay, so it is the morning of my flight out to Africa. Tanzania. Well, I'm flying to New York and then to Dar es Salaam. But I'm just sitting here in my hotel room, kind of getting the last of my stuff together. I still have my sprained ankle, but the swelling has gone down a little bit, but it hurts a lot. When that happened, it was really devastating because I knew all of the energy, all of the work that you have to do to travel. And because I was coming from Los Angeles, going to New York, and then going to Doha, and then coming to Dar es Salaam, it's about 3 days of traveling and with my luggage by myself. How was I going to do this? I could barely walk. And it was a real test of like, really how bad do you want it? Because I could have easily canceled my trip and stayed until I healed. But luckily, I had a very sweet friend who was literally on her way to just kind of hang out with me before I left and help me pack. And she was like my nurse, and she kind of like got me ready to go and get on this plane with my ankle. And just this journey of leaving America, it's a very like, and I don't want to say cliche, but it's very spiritual. Even when you think of the idea of flying, and you're literally flying above all of the mess, you're literally in the atmosphere with the clouds, and you're on a totally different dimensions. Like when you really even think deeply about flying, how almost supernatural, our ability through technology or whatever to fly and to get to places so quickly. So yeah, when I arrived here, I came to my B&B, and my host, Jonas, what I received from just being here was welcome, and that you are home, and that you are one of us. And he kept telling me that, I look East African, that I am Bantu, and he was explaining to me how a lot of the tribes and Bantu tribes have migrated throughout Africa and gone to West Africa and gone to South Africa, and, all over Africa. But since I've been here, just seeing other people, other Africans, and like how familiar they look, and even just like the movement, the body language, especially the men, because that's where I see more expressiveness that looks very familiar to my brothers or cousins or friends, just men, black men. A lot of our mannerisms is just plain up African, and obviously Europeans wanted to put a negative label on who we really are. And I've just like dismissed within myself of ever calling anything ghetto or hood or any of that, because all of that is just African, and it's a beautiful thing. It really is. Even like when you think about twerking, how much twerking is actually a spiritual dance. It's like, it's not even something that should really even be sexualized. So I just been going through this process of just like unlearning and like relearning, um, and just being observant and trying to learn the language. I've really immersed myself with locals, being around some locals that I've met so far, and just wanting to. I was talking to this guy that I met, and I was saying how, us as Black Americans are coming here. We really are like not even born. Like when we think about it, like spiritually coming to Africa, we are just a seed that has to germinate, and then Mama Africa has to give birth to us, and then she has to like nurse us and raise us, and then we get to a point of like knowing. So I just kind of look at myself like a lot of it is just darkness of like a lot of it's just unknown, and darkness is not a negative thing. It's a powerful thing. I mean, it's part of the universe, light and dark, night and day. So I just been kind of like looking at myself as like, if I'm going to be born again, then I have to allow nature to do what it's supposed to do, and then not to think that I know anything. If I'm just a seed, I don't even have a consciousness. And I know that like may go over people's head, but it really is like an analogy for just like there's so much that we don't know about different African cultures. I mean, in general, there's hundreds of thousands of them, but specifically where I am in Tanzania, there's so much to just observe. You don't really know how culturally people do things. You have to see how, for instance, like if you are in the queue, how do people queue up? How do people react to certain things? The way that we do things in America is not, it really isn't the same. So it's like I can't really be like, well, should be done like this. Or, for instance, I spent time in India, which India was a very, very like life-changing experience for me. But in India, people stare at you, and in America, staring is considered to be rude. But in India, staring is like they stare at you just because they're interested, and it's not like a rude type of "who are you" kind of stare. It's more like like who are you? And what I notice in India is like when someone is staring at you and you just smile back and wave, they literally light up. It's not like it's almost like a shyness, like they're staring out of curiosity and shyness. But when you give them back good energy, they just light up. And I just think in general, humans are like that. They're gonna usually give back the energy that you put out. So I've been noticing that here. I wouldn't say the staring was as intense as India because that was on a whole nother level, but people are looking. I mean, you kind of stick out with your American Western clothes, and for me, my Rasta here, which I'm not Rasta, just your presence is the way you walk is a little different. Even though physically you may look, like I said, I look Bantu, but you still are American, even though you are in origin African. So that aspect of just like really observing, but the biggest aspect of this week so far has been rest. And kicking off the year with the sprained ankle was almost like Mama Africa, universe, God, creator was like, you need to sit your butt down and rest. So I've been doing a lot of like resting, sleeping, and just been nursing myself, and just taking better care of myself. And rest is something that is almost like an uncomfortable concept because we're so used, and I want to say this for all people, because in general, most people are just working. So the idea of rest is like luxury. It is, it doesn't seem as available or even as necessary. But when you go through just traveling for as long as you do to get here, you have to rest. But just emotionally, the process of like being born, being to bloom. You know, a flower is just resting in itself until it grows. So that's just what I plan on doing. I don't really. I do want to see a lot of things, but I just want to be settled and just kind of rest and allow myself to heal from 2020, from my own personal stuff, family trauma, ancestral trauma, just kind of like allowing myself to really get to know myself on a deeper level. So, yeah, I really, really thought I was gonna be out in the streets and like getting all this travel content, but for right now, I'm not gonna be doing that. I mean, I will a little bit, but I honestly don't even feel comfortable filming in public, so I have to get used to that. It just doesn't feel appropriate, kind of. And I've had really, really weird conversations where I was like, damn, I wish I had my phone on me. I mean, my camera, but also felt inappropriate too, because it was just like a lot of that stuff was just for me. And one of the big things for me interpersonally is keeping the good for myself, because I'm a giver and I like to, sometimes I overgive, and when you overgive you are depleting yourself. So really giving from a place of fullness, which comes full soul wellness, full soul travel, but giving from a place of like overflow, where you are not giving from your source, but you're only giving from what you generate extra from. So that's at least the content that I plan on giving you guys, which will be good because there's abundance. There's abundance in that. So there will be so much content to give, but I'm not going to give from just a place of weakness or feel like I got to be doing what everybody else is doing. Like, that's just not me. I'm very much so going to do me. So if you resonate with what I'm saying, I hope that you like and subscribe, and come on this journey with me. I do have a couple of videos coming up, and I still do have my India content that I really, really want to share, because I believe it is important to travel, to see the world, to step outside of yourself, to step outside of your environment. And because my experience there was so positive, I just really want to share that. I was just like glowing on a whole other level. So, but I do really look forward to all that Tanzania has to give me and that I can share with you. But Mother Africa, and as I travel through Africa, and as I just kind of just stay in alignment of like whatever I'm supposed to be doing, sharing and giving, and using of my talents and creativity, and sharing that healing journey, because that's really what I've been focusing on. And I want to just say that when people talk about a healing journey, it's not, I feel like it's kind of trendy, and in a sense of like it's popular, but it is a real crucial thing. Like, you think of, like, for instance, with my ankle, like, in order to heal, what must I do for it to heal is to rest. So the thing that happens when you leave your environment, especially America, is that you are allowing your spirit to be in rest, because there's so much unrest. It's constant BS that you are literally being fed lies, like, completely. And your psyche, your spirit, your heart, all of your chakra points, all of it has to like detox from a very toxic environment that we've been born into. And like I said before, kind of like allowing yourself to now be reborn, be in seed form and germinate, and then literally be rebirthed into a new way of thinking and living and doing and eating and enjoying and loving and giving, all those things in a new way. So, but you have to go through that process of rest. You know, the seed is just, it's just there. It's not moving. It's not doing anything. So that's what I'm gonna be doing because that's what I have to do. So, like I said again, I am Marian, and this is Full Self Travel. I really hope that you come along with this journey, and I would love to know where you are in your journey, whether you are still back in America and you want to travel. And I just want to say that you have to do what is best for you. You cannot follow what other people are doing or what other people say that you should be doing. So if people say that Black people should be moving to Africa and you don't feel that in your heart, then don't do it. It won't be good for you completely. So there are plenty of other places in the world that you can get your healing from, that you will still have connections to your ancestors, because our ancestors were literally everywhere. Um, there's a big community of Black people in Mexico. That was actually, I mean, Mexico City and just Mexico is like a great country. I loved it. I love it. But there's a booming community of people who are moving there. They're just getting out of, you still get out of that like mind F of America. Central America, South America, Belize, Brazil. When you go a little east, I mean, there's 54 countries in Africa. There's India, I look at India as like a surrogate mother. Obviously, Africa is mama, but like India was like a surrogate. There's Thailand, there's Bali, there's all these other places in the world that you could heal. And you just really have to follow what you feel in your spirit. And if you don't feel anything, then you got to get still so you can start to feel something, so you can start to like listen. Because I know that for me, my ancestors, my creator, my high self, full self, I felt a calling to go to India before I came to Africa. And I honestly don't know if I would have came to Africa if I didn't go to India first. At least not in the same capacity. I definitely would have came and traveled and, you know, did the whole thing. But that's something that I had to go through. That was my journey to get to where I am now. So you have to trust your own process. Don't let people make you feel bad about whatever decision you make, because there will be people that don't understand it. I have people in my own community, family that don't understand why I'm here. But that's not for them to understand. It's for me to understand, and it's for the people who are assigned to my life to experience the ripple effect of my positive decisions. So for you, I just want to encourage people, because not everybody feels the call to come to Africa, or to Tanzania, or to Ghana, or wherever else people are going. You may want to go somewhere else, try something new, go to a different country. In Africa, there's, like I said, 54 countries. But I'm gonna leave you with that. That is just my 2 cents. I hope that you resonate and you feel my spirit, and that I come with good intentions. So peace and light.